Okay, guys, so we're live now.
Great.
Hi everybody. So
Hi.
this is for our assignment. How we started off
Hello.
our second
Yay.
Uh,
attempt.
Oh, Tyler
Hi,
has come back. Great.
Shuang, you're
Michelle. I
muted.
can hear you very clearly.
I can't hear Shuang either.
Shuang, is there a way to turn up the volume?
Yeah. Can someone hear me?
I can hear you.
A little
Okay,
better.
good. Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Or good
Hi.
morning.
Okay, so let's get it started. What do you guys
Yeah,
think
let's
about
start.
Class Dojo?
Um, as a parent, I was
This is
given
so
a class
sad.
code. I
Right?
was I was given a class code so I can join my daughter's class, and then so I can receive message from her teacher, and then so it's convenient to know what is happening in school as a parent. And once a while the teacher also gave a grade on the whole class behavior, such such as they listened quietly to instructions. So I think this enables me to know the general, I mean, behavior condition of my child's class. Yeah, I think this is a good thing. These are the good things I like as a parent.
Okay. Did anybody else try it?
Well, I made
I took a
I made the account, and I haven't used it before either as a parent or a teacher. But in exploring it, I thought it looked like a lot of fun. I liked the character building aspect of it, and I thought the little monsters were cute, and they would really appeal to the students, which I like that age group because I'm planning to teach an elementary age, and that it had little videos that you could join the class, that you could show the class, and they could watch it. And so I explored it as best I could with my little sample account, not having an actual classroom, and I thought it looked like a fun and useful tool.
Cool. Okay. How about you, Liz?
Um, I have considered it from a parent's point of view that the two of you have elucidated, which makes it sound interesting, especially as sort of a Facebook slash messaging kind of application. It sounds like it could be useful. As a teacher, of course, I'm afraid of having too much work. Teaching a class without myself having any with itness is already quite a challenge. If I had to, like press buttons on a pad or something at the same time, I think that would just, yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle it. And although I like the idea of keeping parents informed, I think it can be a slippery slope to a point where it just makes my life hell. So uh, I think it's great if other people use it. However, at this point, I like to keep it outside of my classroom.
Okay.
How about
Well,
you,
with my
Michelle?
experience, I'm actually required to use it. For all of the teachers in our school, it was mandatory for all of us. We're using this to actually grade our character building skills. So we're actually working on our flows, which is our student learning outcomes. And then with our student learning outcomes, that's how we grade it. For example, if a student is focused and driven, if a student is following directions, finishing their work on time, stuff like that. Um, the main aspect I really love about Craft Dojo as a teacher is that I love how we could communicate with with parents without giving out, you know, very sensitive information. Like I don't even have to give them my phone number. I just give them a code, print it out, and they can sign up to our, sign up on our class. And the only thing I didn't like was that some parents they usually rely on it too much. Where for instance, if a student is a bus rider and all of a sudden is a car rider on the I had an experience where at the last minute a parent decided to message me and tell me 5 minutes before the bell rang that he's now a car rider just for today. Of course, they would probably assume that we're glued to our phones, which we're not. I seldom use my phone during class time. But what a cool aspect is that I like how I can record stuff or take pictures and I can show it to my parents. Like how Lewis said, it's like a Facebook. And so when I upload it and I show it, they can comment on it, they can message me. Um, and well, with me, like what you said about you not having enough time, usually when I video record or when I take pictures, I take a picture and I probably find another time to upload it. I don't upload it on the spot. So
Okay,
yeah,
so do any of us have any concerns of using any concerns on using Class Dojos?
well, there is concerns about labeling a student as good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you want me to show you again how it goes in here? Just
No, I mean, apparently you have to say something, maybe one or two point, just about the negative points. So how is it?
I agree with Lily about it could be time consuming, and so finding that balance about how we keep parents informed and it's a good communication, and yet at the same time that you don't spend too much time on it. And just to quickly bring in another app, when we talked about let me write that, let me see which one I wrote down. Oh, that teacher's class behavior, when we mentioned that one, that was, it seemed like that one would be very interrupted, because it was like Johnny interrupted class at 1:39 p.m. and to record each thing. So kind of to bring in a different app and to say something that could be, um, a concern would be just the time from the teacher.
Yeah, and I think if my daughter's homeroom send videos or pictures of her own, I think that's fine. But if she send out things like videos which included my daughter, but without my permission, and she sent out to other parents, I think that is a concern on privacy. So maybe we should be careful about using this function.
I see. So I guess I want
Yeah.
to mention again that they do have class stories where, for example, I would post stuff for my whole class. Like it could be a group, a picture of my whole class. It could even be just like a group of my students doing activities. And well, I usually post stuff. When parents are there before they even sign up for Class Dojo, they do sign a media consent form. That way, they know that their child is being photographed, videographed, stuff like that. So we know beforehand, so that when they do see stuff like that on Class Dojo, especially my class story, they already expect that. If they see their child there, I don't see why they shouldn't. I don't see why they should be angry or, but again, parents can always say, oh, I don't want my child on stuff like that. But then when you think about it, when a parent says, I don't want my child photographed, then they shouldn't be expected to be in class dojo, and I'm not gonna send anything, send pictures or videos of their child, unless of course they ask.
That's
So yeah, with that aspect, of course, privacy is an issue sometimes, but that's why we always have consent forms and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
don't know
can
if
I
you have.
ask can I ask another question? I mean, as a teacher, what do you think? I mean, what do I say? What do you? I mean, effective to you? Does it mean that we rely on technology, or
Sorry.
there is other ways to manage the classroom and then do a better job on teaching? Do you,
Well, it really varies teacher by teacher. So for me, as mentioned again, I mostly use this app really like just for parent communication. When it comes to like classroom, behavior wise, I do it in a different thing. I don't even use the Class Dojo app. I have sticker charts. I have the behavior chart with the color codes. Uh, I think for kindergarten, especially my students, they should be able to visually see how they're doing. And with applications like those kind of stuff, they can't see it. So with this, they do have a student mode in mind. Like for students, they have an account. They can log in and see how they're doing. But especially in kindergarten and with a lack of resources and materials, they do not have the ability to access stuff like that. So for me, I mostly use it targeted towards parent communication and yeah, parent communication and in character building too. So the parent will be able to see how's my child doing.
It's, sorry, I can't hear you, Michelle. It
I don't know who's
is.
doing that.
Whose music is that?
Sorry, I'm in a bar.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
So I
Um,
don't know if I can turn off the music.
that's okay.
yeah. All right. Shall we move on to talking about other classroom management tools?
Okay, you don't want to start?
All right. So
I
we
think the
have
things for arranging seats.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I was just going to reject the ones that for arranging seats because at least my biggest class has only, let's see, this year my biggest class has all of 6 people in it. So for me, the whole I don't understand the whole arranging people thing. But I guess if I had 36 kids, that would be relevant.
So
Yeah, and I
uh,
was reading a review of Smart Seat, and someone said that they didn't like that one because the desk layouts can only be in grids, so you couldn't put them like in a circle or together in groups of 4 or anything else like that. So I thought that that one wouldn't be very useful, only if you put them in rows.
and for me, I also don't like this arranging seats. I don't arrange, I mean, tables for them. Kids group themselves according to their abilities in speaking Mandarin. So the really sharp one sit next to the really sharp one, so they can work together. Because if I group a really sharp one with a very slow one, I don't think the slower can do any work. So I let them group by themselves. And we have other tools like teacher's kit. Does any of you review teacher's kit, or does any of you using that?
Teacher Kit.
Yeah, teacher
Yes.
kit.
That one had a lot of different functions. You could do the student info, attendance, behavior, grades. There was one of them, I don't think it was this one, but other ones might have had the feature and just not mention it, that I thought was cute. For me as a teacher, it was like a flashcard app where you take their picture and it would help you as a teacher learn the student's name. And I thought that that was really cute. I didn't put it with my notes with the teacher kit, so I didn't know if you could do that one.
Oh,
But there were other
I have
ones that you could do that. That was the smart. Oh, that was the smart seat one where you could only do the one in grids. So, thought that was a fun little
uh,
feature.
I have a colleague, a PE teacher. He's using teacher's kit, and I saw some functions. He can take pictures of the student and then um, name I mean indicate their names, and then he can track students performance, how fast they ran and then how strong they are. And he can also generate a report by using teacher kit, and then he used this report for our school report. I think it's a good way to keep student performance and track their monitor their progress.
Nice.
Louis, do you want to share your opinion?
About the teacher kit? Yeah,
Yes.
just what I wrote in the notes. I usually find the whole grading thing challenging because they want me to make it transparent. They don't actually want transparency. They just want it to look transparent. And so if I had sort of a system that made it, oh, this is worth this much amount and participation was this much, and I could put everything forward and stick it in my grading book, it would, I do that, but I do it in Excel. And then I had come up with these long, complicated Excel formulas to do it automatically. It would be much nicer if I just had a program that would be able to do it that way. So yeah, teacher kit. I think it could be useful.
All right. We have another one called Super Duper Data Tracker. Do anyone have any opinion
That
on that?
was that the one that seemed intended more for therapeutic purposes, for speech therapy, for
Yes.
for special
Special
ed, things like
educator.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
like
think that seemed very nice. It had goals. I liked it. I'd be interested in seeing what somebody else thought about that.
Um, I think it's different. There's a difference between this super duper data tracker and others because, as you mentioned, there is a, a goal. So it set behavior goals for students rather than just keep recording, keep a record on what has happened or who has violate classroom rules. So student can, this is kind of like expectations. So student know there is expectation and then they know how to, they probably they know how to reach that expectation. And teacher also can set different goals for different students. So I think it's a bit of encouraging to me.
so this is more like a individualized behavior chart, kind of,
Yeah,
but it's
no, yeah,
electronical.
you can indicate their behavior and then use a graph function, and then so it will shows how student behaves during over a period, and you can also send this graph to parents or to students. So, but it can only be used on iPhone, iPad, or iTouch. So you cannot use it on other devices like um, laptop or Windows, something like that.
Okay.
Yep, and oh, I saw this too noisy, too noisy. Yeah, it's a app. It's a app which allows you to record the the noise level in the classroom, and then so student can see how how do I say how noisy they are or how quiet they are.
Oh wow.
So, but I think it's a little bit crazy because you need to have a device can which is sensible to catch the noise in the classroom, and if the all the class if all students are quiet, so the teacher can give stars, kind of like a award to the whole class, and then to how do I say to indicate um, their classroom. But I don't have it on my phone, so I'm not very clear about this all the functions of this app. Does anyone have a clear idea or better idea?
I just
Uh,
what you said, but they also would put it like Louis said. They just use an iPad, or you could use your phone, and then they could link it to like their smart board. So they put the device wherever they wanted to monitor the noise level in a classroom, and then the whole class could see the meter on the smart board or projector or whatever, and so they could see the little meter going up and down. And again, not having used it, I did read a review. The one reviewer said he thought right away the kids would just try to make it go loud and see if they could, you know, break the glass or whatever the thing did when they went over. But he said no, they accepted the challenge and they liked it, and it was like a game. They didn't want to be too loud, and so I think that visual function, especially when the kids could see it on the smart board and the meter. It's kind of like the old-fashioned way when you play the quiet game, loses. They don't want to lose the game, and so that seemed to have a good motivation function to it. So I thought it looked useful and fun.
All right. But it also can be distractive. Kids want to look at the meter maybe every 3 minutes. They
That's
look and
true.
then they go back to their work and they look at the meter and go back to their work. So I'm kind of reject all these classroom management tools.
Yeah,
So
me too. My question is, it seems to be a solution for something that's not a problem. Because children, I mean, okay, we experience a lot of children who drop out, or they're children who have issues with literacy after graduating from school. But how many kids, young adults, do you meet on the street who don't know how to control their voice level? Right? This doesn't seem to be an issue with children.
Right.
I mean, it's an issue with children, but it's just because they're children. And once they get a little bit older, they realize that they don't need to scream at you in class. And if they don't realize that, I don't think this little thing is going to do it. It just means they like to yell. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of misuse of technology. But
I also feel
if they
like,
gave me data that proved otherwise, I would be willing to listen.
well, I feel like, there's a lot of, ways you can, minimum voice levels even without an app. You can teach your students rules. You could tell them there's inside voices and outside voices, stuff like that, and especially in the elementary level. But I mean, I know, what that app is trying to do is trying to like visually show students like how what noise level are they and stuff like that. But in the end, I mean, stuff like that. Do you really need it? I don't think so.
okay. So uh, does anybody know how many minutes we spent on
Honestly,
the
it
meeting?
doesn't have a timer. But oh, I remember Jennifer. I think you mentioned something about your experience with your kids with apps like this, like similar apps as a parent.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Michelle. My two youngest are going to school this year. We've been home educating up to this point, so this is my first time experience with kids going to school in the technology age with so many things being online. And they don't use Class Dojo, but the school that they're attending uses a program called Teacher Ease. And so as a parent, kind of like what Shuang was sharing in the beginning, as a parent, I really enjoy that I can go online. I can see their assignments as of that day, and I'm not sure how it works on the teacher end. It must be pretty automated because it'll say, language lesson 7 assigned 2 minutes ago. So, and then it goes back for what's assigned for the day, and I can see their grades, the volleyball schedule, the calendar, what's for lunch that day. And so as a parent, I really enjoy, and not that I'm going online every often to see what's been assigned up to date necessarily, but like I can check in Monday morning and see what's going on. And so I really appreciate that as a parent.
Do we have any other classroom management, classroom behavior, classroom behavior management tool to talk about? Or we are about to, or are we going to make a summary on our discussion?
Okay.
Okay, the question on our what do I say? The assignment is, can we? You have to make recommendations on using Class Dojo and other tools. So let's make a summary on our recommendations. All right.
So with my grade level, especially in kindergarten, As a classroom management tool, I mean, I see it. It's probably really good for the upper grade levels, but for kindergarten, I feel like, a more visual approach is better. Like how we do like the color behavior charts, stuff like that. I think that's much better. But for the class dojo aspect of, communication with the parents, that's a huge plus, especially for teachers and the parents. So
Yeah.
that's
All
me.
right. Louis, do you have any recommendations?
Um, Maybe for primary or junior primary, I think by junior high school, it's already a lost cause, I think.
So do you mean that we have to consider using the tools um, according to our own teaching context? Because Michelle is teaching, I mean, younger kids, and we are teaching in high school, so we may don't have to use that. Do you mean that? Hello? Hello? Did
Yes.
anyone hear me?
I,
Yes.
I can't really hear the
Yeah.
question. Sorry.
Yeah. Case to case, right?
Oh,
We should think about using the tools according to our own teaching context, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is second. And second, our second recommendation. How about you, Jennifer? Do you have any recommendations?
Well, I think for sure, we're just going forward with technology and it's here to stay, which is, of course, an obvious statement. But since that is the way we communicate, like Michelle had the really good view of the teacher, and you and I more as the parents, it's a great communication tool. So, if nothing else, I think that that's the really good positive thing about it.
Yeah, so your point is we should use the good functions and ignore those functions which will make concerns or make problem for us, right?
Right, and it's going to depend on to the teacher. Like when Michelle shared her screen with us, and she had showed that she'd able to take a video and the class picture. Michelle, you've really made it work really well for you. And like you said, you're not tied to your phone all day, and that the parents, know, if you tell them 5 minutes before the bus comes, that's too late. They may not see that, and so I think there's just a balance where everybody figures out how it works best on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And unless, because I was required to, use Class Dojo, if we had the option to not use it, I probably would still use it, just for the communication aspect. But we were also using this to grade their character building. So yeah, that's actually the main reason why we're required to use it is for that.
Oh, I see. So we made three recommendations, and then we talked about Class Dojo and the other two tools, right? And
Yep.
it is, yeah, I think it's almost 30 minutes. Am I right?
It should probably be good.
You're good because we were
Yeah,
over last time, so this is probably good.
Yeah.
yeah,
and the
even
other
better.
class only did about 17 or 18 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it says no
17
more
or
than
18.
30 minutes, I think, in the assignment, so that's good.
Okay.
No, it
Okay,
said we
guys.
should talk about 30 minutes. Let me
Oh,
have a
okay.
look whether
No,
30
no, no
minutes.
more than 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, no more than 30 minutes. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, we're good, I
We're
think.
Good
good.
then.
So
Go to.
then we can
Thank
stop
you so much,
here.
guys.
Bye,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
guys.
you,
Bye. Thank you for
Michelle. Bye
reviewing it.
bye. All right, see you on
Bye
Sunday.
bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.